Mr. Chitumba, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
It's going fine. I was just in the background dealing with, today I'm the one dealing with my son.
Okay.
Yeah. You are the one who's always dealing with your daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. How's been the weeks so far?
Yeah, the week has been okay. I don't know you that side, and how's the family?
Oh, everybody's good. Everything is fine. It's a long weekend here. I tell it coincides.
Yeah,
Even there, it's a
even
long weekend,
here.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So a lot of fun and activities. Yeah, that's going to be happening. A lot of fun
Yes.
and activities. Yeah. Yeah. So what you got planned for the long weekend? Yeah, anything special?
Yeah, nothing much. I'll be just home.
Okay. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, just home. Yeah, it's good to be home, just interacting with with the kids.
Yes.
Yeah. So you went through the topics. Let's we can go ahead and start while everybody else comes.
Yeah, I went through, although some. Yeah, I think it was a busy week. I was very busy, so I think. Even today, I think I was a little bit busy, so I didn't like go in detail to see. Yeah, some I know, but some, yeah, I don't have much information.
Ah, okay. That's good. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I don't have much information. Okay, okay. No, that's not a problem. We'll go through it and together and guide and see what we can do. But in any case, the topics are pretty much easy and simple. The first thing is we're looking at the Chingola riots. We all know what happened
Yeah,
in Chingola.
yeah, yes, I think I saw the Chingola riot, but I didn't really know the cause of it. So that's why I was saying I didn't like pay much
Mhm.
attention because I was a little bit tied up. Yeah.
So just to bring you up to speed, of course, the Jirabos are the ones that are running those dump sites, and they go
Yes.
there and they do unprofessional way of mining, and lives have been lost. We've
Yeah.
seen lives being lost all the time when dump sites have been taken over by the so-called Jirabos. So because they don't use safe methods when it comes to mining. So that all being said, the government of the day, the president said we need to formalize those kind of mining activities and make it safe for every Zambian. So let's make it safe for every Zambian, and let's make sure that Zambian people are able, to mine safely without losing any life. Because all the time, the people who are buried there, but they continue mining there, and people are still buried there. They don't even report when somebody dies or is buried with the rubble. So
Okay,
ekyo ekyo balelanda njerawe bane mine ye not wishiba, we understand, people want to get some money, but can we do it in a safer and more professional way? So that's when now they will be negotiating between, because those dump sites are not owned by the government, no, but they're owned by the mine itself, which dumps those things, okay, those residues, and then it's theirs. But they just dump it. But people go there and trying to find little gold, diamond, copper, and all that stuff. They go there. So they're negotiating with the owners to say, guys, can we find a way in which you, the owners, us as government and the Jirabos, to find a safer way? So they've been negotiating to say, okay, fair, fine. In the meantime, they told them, stop mining. Now, you know, these guys, they're used with money.
Yes.
Sana dunku. Kai wanafunyako sana dunku. So, so the problem is so much money there, and you know they want to get, you know, they don't want to be told that Kavi and Mwikale first, and what we'll do is we'll contact you, you know. And so that's the thing. I think you get it now. If you can continue, and then I'll join in.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for the information. I think when I saw that riot, I think in Chingola, yeah, I think I read a little bit, maybe, yeah, like the way you've explained. But maybe all in all, I think riot is not a solution to everything. And as a country, I think we have a law or a constitution which is govern the country or govern everything, and we can't go against that. So I think when the government comes in open to say, I think we have to do things in a right way, that's the way it should be, not doing things like with the way we want it. No, it should be order where we are working. I think maybe should be, I don't know, it should be last year or the other year where we lost people. I think that was Kitwe. I think that was Kitwe. Is it sincerely that I think we lost a lot of people, which that is not the way it should be. First of all, safety comes first before anything. So resorting to riot, I think for me, I can't support that. Even if maybe the government was right, was wrong, or whatever, but resorting to riot, that's not the way thing should be. Thing should be happens in an orderly manner, not rioting, destroying things. Because this is our country. When you destroy whatever government bought, it's used for the community, which means we are draining the development of the country. I think I saw they bent, there should be, I don't know if that is grader or that heavy duty machine. That is a big loss to the community. So again, now the government to start buying the same things tomorrow or the other day, people will start complaining, no, our roads are bad, whatever, everything like that. But we are
Mm,
forgetting what we are doing, yes. So doing what they did, that is very, very bad. There is a proper way of doing things. That's why each time when we have a difference, I think we need to dialogue and find a lasting solutions. And also we have to protect those people who are working from there. So maybe the government is not coming to say they want to stop, but it should be happen in a orderly manner. I think they've been
mm,
working all along and they have money. If they can form a cooperative
mm,
and uh, get a license and start mining, but not just go in there. Yeah, so for me, I think this problem, that's why I'm saying certain things. I think when you go like what really was happening in the previous government, these issues of uh, maybe trying to please cadres. That's why now it's reading the way it happens.
mm,
So
mm,
when you look backwards, I think that area it's used for the cadres. So now we are going in that manner because it was happened in a not in a proper way, but there was cadres there who was running that. So now from that time, that's when that problem was created. So
mm,
always we have to make sure that whatever comes or whatever wave should be happen in an orderly manner, not in a
mm,
dubious way. If we lost people there, the same people start now. The government is not doing anything. We've lost
mm,
whatever
mm.
everything, something like that. And then the government now will spend time, not kind of money to go and maybe retrieve those people there. So the first thing
Exactly.
is safety first. Safety, and then I'll say how I'm going to work. Should be orderly, not just whatever. Yes, we can say no, we don't have jobs. Yes, we don't have jobs.
Why don't you have jobs? That is not the reason why people should do whatever they want because there is no job in the country. No, there's a proper way of doing things. I think that is what I can say. So what happens in Chingola, I think that is regrettable, and I think it's a drawback to the country and to Chingola, that machine that they destroyed. So that's not the way things should be. It should be. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, understood. I mean, definitely, that's not the way it should be done. And we're always looking at better ways and better methods of farming. But sorry, mining. Um, so that incident, I think, gives us a lesson. But the only bad side is this: they now went into the community to go and destroy property. And what happened was now the community itself, they started taking those people with criminal minds. They took the advantage by starting going to rob or break in or loot into local businesses. These are the businesses of your neighbor, your auntie, your brother, your sister. You're going there to break. And then the following day you go and say, oh, I want to go and buy bread. The shop is locked at all, there's no bread. But you're the one who went here to break it. Okay? So it's so funny, like the community themselves with those criminal minds, they went there, they started looting, they were stealing, they were breaking things. And like you said, they destroyed a grader that's supposed to go and clean their roads and make their roads beautiful. What do? They go and break it. So it is very, very, very saddening. And I think the police should come in here and really arrest these guys.
Exactly.
They should really arrest them with no, without saving them, because last time they did the same thing. They did the same thing last time, and then when they did the same thing, they didn't really prosecute anyone. Now this time around, they say we are going to follow you down. We're going to follow you, and to allow me conquer. To allow me conquer. It was a sad situation, really, really, really sad. For the fact that you find people that I can't believe somebody you live in the same community. And those people, the communities are not that large. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
So then you go there and start breaking, and I'm like, you go and break your neighbor. Your neighbor's shop. Milk in the morning. You go and break it. You steal the things. Now they're even looking at you. Zona. If you watch Tefi, why in riot? No. Riot does not mean lawlessness. Yeah?
Yes.
Those demonstrations should just remain. And in fact, it's so sad that our man and Kanama Jerabos, the leaders, they don't tell their people, don't involve yourself in these issues. Why don't you just, if you want to do something, go there and just, become, a peaceful protest. And peaceful protest, you have a peaceful protest. Don't go and break your neighbor's home or shop. Huh? I wish they can tell them that. I wish they can tell them that. But
yes. Yeah, for the people to do that, which means they have that criminal mind for them to riot and burn that machine. That is criminal mind. That is what I can say. That is criminal mind. We can't, even if you are doing a demonstration, you can't do demonstration. There is a peaceful demonstration. Demonstration is not about destroying things or breaking. No. What is the result after burning those machines? It's nothing. We are not getting anything, but we are losing as a country. That machine is for the community. It's for the people of Zambia. It's for the people of Chingola. So when you
Mhm.
destroy your own things. So that is the point that we have to understand. So when you are demonstrating, it's not about destroy. You can demonstrate in a peaceful or that's your complaint, just like that. But not resorting into riot, you destroy people's property. No, which means you are creating more problems. Where there's problem, you create more problems.
Anyway, that's very, very true. That is very, very, very true. So now, at the same time, people were complaining, "Hey, where's the minister? Where's the minister?" In all this, when that was happening, actually, the minister was in northwestern province. He
Mm.
was, yeah, he was in Mufumbwe, where he was busy giving out the same things that they're saying they want to be giving them. He was giving out artisanal licenses. He
Yes.
gave out about 90 to cooperatives. And that's what they're telling them, guys, can you organize yourselves, form cooperatives? Okay. Once you form a cooperative, then now we know that, oh, we got it. This is the name. This is the company name. Okay, if there's anything for the government to help you in terms of machinery and stuff, we're organized. Valekana, whatever kustabe fintu fya mu I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Chingola that we So that's why they're saying that, if there's a political hand in all this, they'll be fished out. Because abantu nga balebe bati ngire muneni mwe bantu, can you organize yourselves in groups, 20, 30, 40 people, form a cooperative, and then Polami Pela license, Yava organized, and then Gamwatampo Kuimba Pari. If was the government will come and buy from you directly. Guys.
Yeah. So if like there's a political and maybe there's some opposition who are maybe telling those people to do. I think for me, what I can say, I think we are not honest with ourselves because there's no way you are promoting something which is not okay, so that at the end you gain political mileage. That's what the whole thing should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's not there's a law, there's a constitution that you have which is govern everything. But if that's what I'm saying, a lot of politicians they are using that so that they gain vote. What they want is at the end to please people so that they vote to say, oh, this is the person who's maybe supporting us. But at the end, you are saying you are not following the constitution. So that's not the way things should be. So those politicians, I think they have to be away from that. We have to tell each other the truth. This is the way things should be run. That is the way it should be. There's no question about it. But a lot of people they use this is the problem that we have. I think a lot of politicians they've used that in the sense that they want to promote to gain what political mileage, but not the way things should be. I think we are not sincere to ourselves. You can't do that. And then at the end now, we start destroying things. Even if someone you win election, what will happen? You will find that same problem. You will find that same problem, that grader which was destroyed there. We need to replace. People will start complaining, there's nothing that is happening here in Chingola. Then you start spending money. I don't know if it's times two. You start buying instead of that money using for something else. So as you are campaigning or whatever, I think you have to tell the people the way it's supposed to be. That is what I can say. So for that, those other those opposition leaders, if they are in, maybe are the one behind that. That is very very unfortunate.
Very, very, very unfortunate. And it's believed, no, because they're saying that it's part of the Mingalato, the plan B.
Mm.
The plan B, I mean, it's
Takuwa bana plan B kabomba. There's nothing. There's in politics. There's no plan B. It's just to campaign.
yeah.
There's nothing like
Sure.
plan B, plan C. There's nothing like that.
Iyo barasekesha abanani kani ba PF But PF, they're one of those kind of characters, Akabati. You can laugh all day, because they are not really organized. They are not organized, and it's sad to find that you have a disorganized, well, it claimed to be the largest opposition at the point, because I don't see any other opposition, but it's very disorganized,
Yeah,
even
we don't
within
have
themselves, they're fighting.
we don't have opposition. Even those who are saying no, even among themselves, they don't trust each other. That is the problem. They don't trust each other.
No, they don't. No, they
They
don't.
don't trust each other. So we don't have. We've never know is the largest whatever. No, it's just by paper, but to see where the structure, which structure, do they even have a structure?
Yeah, no. So go.
They don't have.
Anyway, we joined by Vasakala, Brian.
Yes, yes, boss.
Today you finally joined.
Yes, yeah. Oh, my afternoons are pretty busy these days. But I was like, let me see if I can get in for a little bit.
So we were talking about I'm sure you saw what's been
Yes,
happening.
I saw the program. Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, so
I
the
caught up.
Chingola riots, that's what we discussed. I don't know if you've got to contribute on the Chingola riots. We saw properties being destroyed, people protesting, and it was just like a war zone for a minute.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't follow like the reason behind the riot, but I saw all the looting that happened, and it's quite sad. So I think I was looking to the group to just kind of get more context on, what's leading to that situation. It does seem like the illegal mining that's happening um, is not being controlled. I don't know if they don't have control. There has to be like a line because I think this won't stop, and especially the gold deposit speculation. People are excited. And so I think this is not the end. It might happen again if not controlled. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah, definitely it's going to happen again. But I think they've put down the foot now, according to what the Copperbelt minister was saying. He said that look, because this similar thing happened last time. You remember when there
Mm-hmm.
was that tragedy where those miners were killed and
Yes, yeah.
they died, and the president said at that point he said, look, we cannot allow this kind of mining anymore. Why don't we formalize, these let them make cooperatives. Let's formalize
Mm-hmm.
it and let's give them licenses and let's buy from them. Let's support them in terms of safer way methods of mining,
Right,
you
yeah.
know. But the thing is they told them that can you stop? They don't want to stop because of the money. That's why they went to the streets. They told
Mm-hmm.
them stop while we organize things. Mamona. Tabareko kuyako bati. Vali werehe ndalama. Guys, barapanga sana ndalama those guys. If you yeah, in case some Zambia ask for we don't know, but they make a lot of money. So
Mm-hmm.
for them to tell them at stop, don't go and mine. Let's make work for that. Yeah, 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 yeah. When somebody's used getting money, they they don't want, they want
Mm-hmm.
money all the time. And so
That's right.
that's the reason why they went to the streets. That's the reason. And now the minister was saying, last time they forgave them, they didn't arrest anybody, but now they're going to arrest people and people will be persecuted. So that next time we kapanga mistake ya kutobe fin.
Yeah,
Ngabanye bati lekeni kukonka government difunde ya government. Lekeni bane. Let us organize you guys. We organize you, give you licenses so that you're able to mine properly without anybody dying.
yeah.
Because people die there almost all the time, almost every day. And in fact, they don't even report it. Boom. They keep quiet. They say, oh, but actually, they go at a different place. Okay, so if they do a survey there, you find that there's a lot of dead bodies. Actually, there's a lot of people who are still buried there, but they don't want to, do the right thing. They just want to do a farmer shortcut. So that's where we were, and then we also started discussing about what you call it. Tumba, help me on that one. Which one? What were we discussing?
Oh yeah, we are on the same issue for the Chingola. Then now we're talking about those maybe if maybe opposition they are in and maybe they are like supporting what happened. They are behind that because of they want to gain political mileage, and also we talked about the direction of the opposition, like the major opposition political party. There's no direction, no leadership. Yeah, that is what we are talking about.
Yeah, no leadership, and the fact that when that same thing was happening, the looting and the riots, the mines minister was in the northwestern province giving out mining licenses.
Wow.
So he gave out about 90 mining licenses, to the same type of group, these artisanal mining licenses to the same groups in northwestern province, the gold mine there. He gave out about 90 cooperatives, 90 licenses to cooperatives there. But the people who Chingola, they're impatient. But if we are paying their procedures. So that's the reason. Now you understand what was the reason?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you always have to look at like if it comes to your opposition, they're very desperate. I mean, if they're going to use like Lungu's death to somehow, use that to gain sympathy or just gain votes from the whole situation. Like, what can stop them from, creating confusions in the minds, right? So, you can't put it past them. That's for sure.
That's true. So, so one other thing I think we need to tap on was the land bill, gentlemen. I don't know about land in Zambia. It's so hard to get land in Zambia, isn't it? Nowadays, it's like it's a problem. Did you guys look at that document, the land bill?
Yeah, actually, on that one, I didn't look. I didn't read of what Lily was saying. Yeah, but I saw it, and then I heard that I think the bill went to Parliament, then it was deferred. Yes.
What about you, Asakala?
I didn't read the complexity of the bill itself. So when I looked at your program and I saw the bill topic, I think for me, I took a pause, and I think I was looking, for everyone here to talk about the alarming rate at which the bills are being put forth. Uh, I'm a big UPND supporter, and I think we're heading in the right direction as a country, but it just makes me wonder, like, there's just too many bills that are being put through like in a shortcut manner. And there's not much dialogue surrounding these bills. So this is also the same as the bill that was deferred before that we talked about last time. I think this is another case where you need to involve the stakeholders, because like you said, like the land situation is a tricky one. There's a lot of things that we have to look into, as opposed to say, hey, um, we're going to reenact the land and deeds bill. Like, I think we need to get more people involved. I think that's my issue for me, is not too many people involved there, and I'm sure there's gonna be another bill. So like my fear is like, why are we not doing things in the right way when it comes to bills. Like, why are we not having dialogues? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I think for me that's the bigger issue. Like there
Mm-hmm.
could be like good things with the bill itself, the way we want to change things. I think they're targeting section 33 and 34. Um, but all in all, I think if you don't have proper dialogue with the stakeholders, you are not going about the democratic principles that that holds the country and everybody holds in high regard. So I think we really need to do all with these like shoving bills, and yeah, that's my biggest concern, to be honest. Like I don't know what everybody thinks. Hello, I think I lost everyone.
Yeah, Vasakar, I'm around. I think we lost
Mhm.
Mr. Chand.
Okay, yeah, yeah, to have a look here. But you get what I mean. I think there's something like even some of the comments the president is making about like mayors and councillors tenures. Like I think we need to he needs to watch how he presents himself when he comes, because people always gonna find like reasons to create something that is not even going for, right. So I think for me, um, you want to
Sorry, sorry,
obviously
ladies and
strengthen
gentlemen.
the. Yeah.
I logged down for some time. I don't know what happened there. So
Mhm.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like yeah. So I think if you look at
All right. I think
the
we're back
lands
in
bill itself.
business.
Oh, we're back, eh? Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, sorry
like
about
if
that. I don't know what happened. My phone just suddenly just kicked
yeah
out. So
yeah.
so like I was saying, like I think the Vama Sebo, because this is her department. If that
Okay.
bill proposal came from her, I think what
Mm-hmm.
she would have needed to do was bring it first on the table. I don't know the processes and why it was just announced that this is the bill 13 bill,
Mm-hmm.
of the land bill, because they're saying they want to give power to a registrar to cancel a title deed if they find that there's something wrong with that title, or if it was fraudulently given or acquired. He has the
Mm-hmm.
right and the power to cancel it. Now, the learned people, they're saying like you cannot give um, an individual who's a registrar that much power.
No,
Okay,
I
because
also
first and
disagree. Yeah.
foremost, there's a conflict of interest here, because he's the same person that actually issues those title deeds. So the argument is like, if I was the registrar and I issue a title deed to you, Basakara, and
Mm-hmm.
then after some years, I come back and say, oh, I think I fraudulently issued you that title deed, so I'm going to cancel it. And you're going to lose your land. Then you're like, okay, you can't be the judge, the prosecutor at the same time. So that's where the argument is. So I think it wasn't properly thought,
Mm-hmm.
because you cannot give power to one individual who's actually, they're saying, like in the brackets of the lands commission. He's at a lower level. There are individuals who are above that person that would have been mandated to be given that kind of task.
But if you see what you said there, like if you
Okay,
give the power to the chief
are we together,
registrar,
gentlemen? Here,
yeah, if you give all the power
Mr.
to
Chitumba.
Yeah, yes, I'm here, but I don't know if it's
Hello,
my
Mr. Chitumba.
network.
Mhm.
Well, Brian, are you there?
Yes, I was saying that if you give the power, right, to the chief registrar,
Hello,
right? Can you hear
you
me?
guys are all muted. I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Sakala.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello? Mr. Sakala, are you there? Or maybe Mr. Sakala is just listening. Washtumba, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes,
So
yes.
these are the issues that we need to discuss. And oh damn, how many you're gonna?
Can you hear me, Bachanda?
Well, Mr. Brian, how come you're coming in twice?
I had to come out before and then I came back in.
Huh?
Oh, looks like
Masakala, how come you're
Tangerama
coming? You've got
Maliliga.
two phones on, and we can't hear you. You're muted, by the way. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Unmuted. I'm unmuted. Can't hear you.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Mr. Brian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the network is bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Hello? Hello? Anyway, so like I was saying, we cannot give, the power to one individual. Power needs to be, given to the right people in the right ministries, and not somebody who issues, and also at the same time they, Jesus Christ, I think people are having network problems today. Network problems, I think. Mr. Brian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Wow. Yeah,
What was that?
there's
You're
definitely.
having network problems there as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the feed and the stream.
Oh, the stream? Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
So,
maybe let's wait for a little bit for the other guy.
okay. Yeah, I'm sure but him is in Zambia, so that is like expected for network problems there. You know.
Yeah. So I think for me, this is what I'm telling you, Achanda, is like, this government, they need to have a proper, well thought out, um, you know, discussions, right? Because
Mhm,
within the government itself, they are lawyers, right? They have lawyers, right? Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, right? Um, the fraudulence and the misrepresentation when it comes to title deeds, it's always gonna be there, right? But what you want to
Mhm,
do is you want to put laws that don't leave room for political interference,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Because the way things are supposed to be, right, is that there has to be a clear legal standards when it comes to stuff like this, right? So
mhm,
when you're not happy, right, with, let's say, land you acquired, right,
mhm,
the people who should have the final say is the courts, right? There has to be a legal practice, right? So
mhm,
yes, the applicant will have to prove, right, and all that stuff, right? But
yeah.
when proving that in courts, right, the chief registrar obviously is there to provide documentation, because at land ministry they have to keep track of the records, right? So for me, what I was expecting this bill to be about is strengthening the laws that govern the Ministry of Lands. You know,
Yeah,
how
me too.
how 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 people are gonna, when people buy land, how people are gonna be secured. Say, okay, when I buy land, um, this is not gonna, nobody's gonna just come and show up, right?
Mm,
Because the
mm,
thing is, like, what we've seen in the past is the problem is there's been an historic political land allocation,
mm,
right?
mm,
That's been the main issue as well, right?
mm,
So you find that somebody buys a land, right? from prior transaction, right? They
Mm,
could just say like, "Hey, we're gonna cancel you." You can coerce with the chief registrar to say, "Hey, Muslim cancel Jalani land or something like that," right? So
mm,
you want the courts to be the people who decide,
mm,
there has to be like some legal power that should be here because remember the judiciary is supposed to be independent, all things considered, right?
mm,
So let those people be the ones to decide when there's a land dispute, right? And all you have to do is make sure that the chief registrar and everybody in the chain of like Ministry of Lands, they put their house in order. That's why we should be strengthening our laws. How to best facilitate title deeds, how to make sure like there's no fraudulent involved when somebody's buying land. That's what we should be working on, right? We can't give a person who can easily be politically connected that much power.
mm,
Like judiciary oversight should not be the last resort.
mm,
That should be your first go-to, right? And again, this is what I keep telling people. Like, I feel like we are digging our own hole where we don't have to.
mhm.
You get what I mean? Where we don't
Yeah.
have to. Like, why so many bills that have been, contested? How come we haven't
Mm,
drafted a bill where like everybody are all
mm,
in for? Right? For me, that even causes that's a bigger issue to me. It's like, why can't we? Because as a government and as UPNG,
mm,
party manifesto, we do have lawyers. So we have all the good lawyers.
mm,
So like who's advising? Like are we getting proper advice?
mm,
Drafting these bills, right? And before we even send it to Parliament, that we have a understanding of what the implications are going to be and what we're trying to achieve. Yeah, I don't see that at all, right?
mm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree
So
with
we
you
just
100%.
yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100% because, uh, first of all, if there are two major uh, government institutions or ministries that has a lot of corruption, is lands connected with the council. Those two. I'm telling you,
Mm,
it's a well-known um, hidden secret that those institutions are corrupt in terms of how they issue out land, how title deeds are processed, and so on and so forth. You would find like somebody legally owns their land, but because they are not Rapa Mwambas, they'll be side looked, overlooked, and somebody will just come with a briefcase with a lot of money, and they'll sell that land that you own to somebody else. By the time you're coming to claim it, they say, no, this land is owned by this person. And then you have like three title deeds on one land. How
yeah.
does that happen? Okay. And then you want to again empower the same uh what you call it, registrar, to be doing the same kind of thing. Now imagine the chaos that you're creating. It's very weird. Lakazia, welcome.
Thank you very much, Watan and the team. I'm sorry, I'm in Ottawa. I took my little guy for a tournament.
Oh,
Yeah, so
how
he's
was
been
it?
playing really good. It was good. I think they just from playing,
Uh-huh.
so they are really playing really good.
That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
Ah, so what do you put on Yarama Nanikani, Yarama sweatshirt? Yeah, they gave you.
This one is not the Canada Games. It's
Oh, it's not
just
yet.
a
Okay.
tournament. Yes, Canada Games are coming over
Mm,
the weekend in
mm-hmm,
Newfoundland.
Mhm.
and we are excited to see that it's like the Olympic Games of Canada.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Ah,
Uh,
and this time is Newfoundland, the home ground.
Home ground. No, no. If I talk about New Brunswick, Newfoundland is another.
How
Oh,
far is it?
from New Brunswick would be 2 hours flight, I think. Same like Toronto.
That's serious, eh?
Yes, it's like you're halfway going to. Yeah, but the only thing is that there's an ocean, in between.
In between.
Yes.
Ah, ah.
Uh,
So you've got us in the middle of the discussions. First of all, we talked about the riots in Chingola, which
okay.
has been in the everybody's page for a long time. Everybody been seeing what happened there, and
Mm-hmm.
why that happened, and why would citizens go and start looting and breaking
Mm-hmm.
stores and stuff like that. Like, what is it exactly? I don't know how you look at the overall picture on that one.
Wow, I saw that as well. It's unfortunate. Usually it's an indication of something that is not something not going right, which requires urgent attention. But there's no justification in terms of destroying people's property and things like that. That I think was a little bit overboard. But we need to sit down and look at the concerns that were coming from the citizens and start to address them. Because again, if we do not address those concerns from the grassroots in terms of what is going on, the same problem may actually visit us again. So for me, it's regrettable. I just wish that maybe property was not the target of the people that were actually upset. They would have actually protested without actually, destroying all those very expensive equipment that are meant to serve the masses. But that being said, let's just look at what could be the issues that were coming there and then deal with that. So it's regrettable. I don't feel good about it. I would rather that we start to look at more the cause and effect relationship, but not to support destruction of property.
Now, since we're there, the former PS,
MQI.
this issue of Amajerabo has been in the Nama dump site has been there for a long time,
Yep.
and these individuals, okay, they are so-called Jerabos, informal sector miners, and sometimes they call them illegal miners and stuff like that. But they fall under the umbrella of labor
Okay.
because they are providing a labor for certain individuals. Because there are some big guys actually that own some reputable, mining operations there, and they are working for them. But the way they're working in an, uh, you know, unprofessional way, for lack of a better term, and unsafe, using unsafe methods to mine, and which has led to many deaths. Gachadirikira umuntu afwa. Now
Mhm.
the current government is saying, look, we cannot, keep on going through this circle. Abantu
Mhm.
barefwa because of not having proper methods of mining. Why don't we legalize it, and then everybody's given some sort of support, and teach them how to mine properly in safe way. But tabarefwaya,
The,
when you were there as a labor PS by that
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
I'm sure you dealt with all these issues.
Yes, I did actually. And if you remember, the first case that I dealt with was concerning Jim Canton in Lufunsa for those that were doing mining on the emerald dump sites.
Mhm.
The mine had employed one person, I think was former commando in security, and the one person I think was from Israel who was actually the manager at the time. So what they did was they started to use corporal punishment on the illegal miners that were scavenging for these emeralds. So I went there as a labor commissioner, I think at the time, And what we dealt it from two sides, 2 points of view. Number one was to arrest and make sure that the person who was exercising, who was actually minting corporal punishment on the Zambians, is sent away from the site. That's the
Mhm,
first one. Then number two, we engage the mining company itself to say what other corporate social responsibility can we start to put in the community so that when these people that are working here, the ones that to move them away from the dump sites into some productive sectors. So what was agreed and which was taken a leaf from um, from um, from grizzly mining and the things like that was that they started on an agricultural path
mhm,
where the mine itself was financing the 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 preparation of these agricultural areas. Like for instance, they started most of the vegetables that were being consumed by the people that were going on the mines. They
mhm,
started to produce them. The mine funds that
mhm,
and pays both for preparation and they pay for the produce as well. So
mhm,
when a person was planning, when they are planning that, they are paid. When they
mhm,
plant, they are paid. The produce, they are also paid. So what started happening is that most of the people started to run away to say, wait a minute, if I
mhm,
can supply to the mine and the mine is paying for all these things that I'm doing, then
mhm,
in a way, I'm feeding the people, but I'm also getting paid out of that. I think it was
mm,
a very good strategy that worked. When I went to the new mine is what you must know is that at the time the Black Mountain
mm,
was purely in KCM Mopan hands, and
mm,
I personally had the chance to meet some of the leaders of the so-called Jerabos that wanted to start digging in the pit. And I think at the time, Honorable Bino Mpundu was DC. And I
mm,
think we were very categorical that you can't go on the site in the mine and start getting things that are in the mine. They don't belong to you, they belong to the other person. So if you want to have an arrangement, let's agree on the terms with the owner. You don't just jump and get and start doing that. Now,
mhm,
one of the things that was done was to identify who were these leaders and how can there be safe mining. Like I think what was left, the UPND picked out on it to make sure that these so-called small scale miners,
mhm,
whatever they were producing, be formalized in a system managed by them, away from politicians.
mhm,
The problem that I see now is that the politicians are in it. It has taken a dimension of politics diving into small scale mining, politics diving into the the dump sites. So when we removed the politics out of it and created a system where ordinary Zambians were the one to manage it through their
mm,
own systems, I think it did not bring chaos around it. That's why you see that in Chingola, we were very categorical. There was nothing like, oh, there were Jerabos in Chingola going to the dump site to get things there. It was clear cut, you can't go there. That's an area not to go. And I think they respected that. They didn't go. Those that went there were actually arrested, and the police were very much firm in terms of stopping people from getting in there. But then, as the way politics always play its hand when people want to salvage for support, there was now an indication to say, oh, wait a minute, these dump sites can still be given to you guys, because now people started to learn the art of refinery. This is why
mm,
now you see the Chinese colleagues coming in and setting these refineries,
mm,
which are going to get this sample and refine and get all those trace elements, trace minerals from these dump sites. And
that's
they
right.
started now people realize to say, oh, wait a minute, that is not just a dump site, actually. The residues are profitable. So
Mhm.
they start now to get there. And instead of government stopping it to say, wait a minute, these one, they've been processed, who is the owner, what kind of cooperative system are you going to make so that one is done safe and done
Mhm.
right? That that kind of was lost on the process on the way. And when we lost that, this is now what you see now. It started to create mean landlords, warlords, like who are now saying we are the middlemen. You bring to us, we sell to the Chinese. Now, who are this? What is this group? What's the name of this group? And who
Mhm.
are they connected to? So, really, to break this up, we need to find out to say, let's take away all politicians out of it. Get these small scale miners to manage themselves, because then you can hold them accountable. It's very difficult to hold the Jarabos accountable when the politicians are involved also in it, and also when the issues to do with either win or lose of elections are, playing its part. So I
Okay.
think we need to just
No,
summarize it
before
and
before you go further, I want to bring in a question
yes,
that people want to find out. Like, look, those dump sites, when a mining conglomerate, they're there, they dump all those residues there. Have they said, okay, we don't need it anymore, or do they still own that dump site? Because if you dump something, you throw away something, then it's up for grabs. You have thrown it away.
yeah,
Chimbo
but then
chine kulaba garbage day kuno na posa ifisoso panse.
hmm,
Nkana posa. Should I
okay.
muntu ngasa atola kuti namwe njalawe chintu chanji?
Nombanga
Want
filimu
to find
yadi
out.
mumi yenu. The problem is nga filimu yadi mumi yenu. No uleisa mukubula fila fine muposela fila isa mweba na isa mukusende fi muposele. Tete sengi tesa abule fati twantu na mubika padi so na muposa. So that is where the problem is. These dump sites are within the tenements of these legalized entities. So to get them, and you have to go to the people that own them and say, if since now muposa, can we come and make use of them? Ninkwata use of them. What
Mhm.
if Nasanga idea actually if I can still refine them, I can still sell them. So there has to be an arrangement where umuntunga na posa, you go in. In fact, as government through its stakeholder kind of engagement, go in
Mhm.
there, have a conversation, make the owners know that okay, so much tonnage will be given away, and who is it being given away to? What are the consequences if something goes wrong? And then again, how is it going to be done in a safe and environment? Not just someone aingira kuwendo filapine kuwendo kusuma umuntu ngari alive, but ngafwa it is just so bad and doesn't really reflect well on the government, because it shows that government is negligent when actually in fact not. So kufuile kwabo kubepusha abene bama dump sites and they create a system of actually
Uh-huh.
having to engage with them.
Yeah. Well understood, but I think it's a mwachafka wino question because
Which one,
I think
Batan?
it's more like in a gray area. If you
Okay.
don't have posa, if you have dump site, na posa.
Okay. Let me be clear with that, Batanda. When those people ngaba posa, the law still owes them accountable for in terms of environmental management. So Ngavaposa, it must be thrown in a certain way, and the mines are held accountable for whatever happens with Vaposele. And that is one of the reasons why Musango Kwebati, even in Vaposele, they still have control on who can get and what they can get. Because now mine, now let's say the mine is mine exploration in my land. Ngavashamwe feeding Dimulia, but Shika. You understand?
Mhm.
Open. So the residues of processing the copper is supposed to be disposed in a certain way, and they are still responsible for that which is being disposed. And that is why when they are giving it away, it must also be given in a responsible and structured manner.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Mr. Mr. Simukonda, you keep on dropping it. Is everything okay there?
Yeah, I'm keep on dropping. Yeah, the network is not doing fair. Yes, Wakazia, how are you? Long time.
Thank you, Bakala Mbaba Smukonde. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Yeah, maybe I think I followed you what Wakazia said. Yeah, I think it's clear now to say when the mine throw those or dump those wastes, they are still held accountable of whatever who comes and get. So I don't know, maybe I don't know if we missed it from the beginning, the time when they started, maybe to say if they go and dump, they are supposed to give to someone who are going to be controlling, so that maybe to avoid like people coming in to say they can now um, maybe bambo kuimba or bambo kusenda, but maybe we miss from the beginning. Then later on, that's why now we have this a lot of confusions. Now we are failing now to control or to put order there. I don't know, Wakazi, on that one.
Yes, Basumukonda. You see, because if I not about limo, tulalava to do a little bit of was due diligence. When people
Mm.
start to do something that is not right, we forget and lose our steam when we should have controlled it. So even this one here, Manani, we should have controlled it at a certain point. But I don't think it was controlled. Now, that being from when the MMD left came in, even ourselves as the time that I served in government, and even the current government, we have been kicking the can down the line instead of stopping it. When we tried to stop it, we knew that there could be some resistance. But I think for me, when I was addressing these matters, I was very categorical. You who is not the owner, you can't just show up at a dump site and get. No, you can't do that. You have to go and ask. And the person giving you must give you in certain conditions. For instance, you saw this the dump site at Usakire, which had been there for many, many, many years. But it is finished. Why? Because there was a structured way when people died out of it, buried some people out. But I think there was some structured way of people getting to do the processing through some organization or cooperative. But that is when people realize the value of the dump sites. And then instead of now saying whichever dump site that we have, let's structure it. We did not do that. And that is when people started now taking it as a sense of entitlement rather than as a sense of what? Ownership by the person who owns them. So when I see it, I know muchibika pada. So inena la senda. Namba bushe, ama funde ya wala sendeko yaba. Ama funde ya ndeko yaba on how you're going to get it. Let's apply the rules. And also, let's not support criminality. Ubu wafya wapu wako bati, ngachako bati tuwakirekerera. And we don't stop it. It gets out of proportion. And when it gets out of proportion, lijamuka yoku say the right thing. Then mwamoneka abunomo. Because now, abantu baberera. Now you have seen how people, everyone, where there's a dump site saying, it is not like, oh, how are we going to get it? It's like the Minister of Mines must just go to a dump site, pere niwa kampanda, a dump site, pere niwa kampanda, not knowing that even the Minister of Mines has the limitations to what he can give and what he can authorize. So for me, Basimu Konda is that go back to the drawing board. Let's give these dump sites in a right manner and to the Zambians, and also make sure that certain parameters are done. But we don't have a structure, a framework of how we can give. Our people are not difficult that they cannot understand if you are man. We can start now to make a structure on how to go to do it, but remove politics out of it. That is the only way I see it. Ngatatua quite a structure of how to give this dump site back to our people. Let's sit down and design that structure and give it back to our people in a safe and in a safe way. To say that they can just go away because maybe a foreign company owns the mine dump site and it will not happen. It will not happen because the people say, Nisnala churida, na nechibiriepo chiri padya echo nalafuira nensala chinshi echo ava natavarire chinshi. So I'm going ngakufa kana alafu afi. And that is where it comes to be in conflict with the law. But if we can go back and design and start to make sure that we formalize it, we monitor it, we make sure it's done in a safe way, the whole thing will be done. And then also we will manage the Barabianama Chinese Manani, a refinery, that they cannot be paying road due to our people. Because in much later, something worth 1,000 kwacha, vampera 100 kwacha. You understand? So also those things must be managed, that if our young people, if our youth work around it, let's give them what they deserve, which is right. And then, and make it safe in the way they get that. I think that is the way I see it. But to say that it or what is going to be a lot of problems for government.
Okay. I think we it's well explained, and then I think we can grasp one or two things from there, from what Wakazia said, and Brian.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you get anything from there? Like, do you have
No, I understand now the situation. Like I said earlier,
fantastic?
yeah,
Uh huh.
I didn't really follow. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense now.
Uh huh.
I think
Yeah.
the way the political side of things is being handled, you just can't, just issue dump sites like that. It's everybody wants a piece of that as well, and we have to control the situation. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, like this could get really ugly. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it already has, but it could even go beyond this. If we in code this,
Mm-hmm.
these countries that have the special minerals like Congo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Fantastic. Anyway, that being said, I think we need to move ahead. In the same breath, I mean, we talked about the artisanal minor licenses that were given in Mufumbwe by the Minister of Mines, and we reached. Now we were talking about when you came in, Bakazia. We're talking about the land bill. So,
Okay.
lands, we're trying to figure out. There's Commission of Lands, and so many people there with certain portfolios. Now, the bill itself, when I was reading it, it was saying, you know, the powers are now going to be given to the registrar to either cancel or retrieve any title deed if it's deemed or found out that it was acquired fraudulently. Now, that's a big mammoth given to one individual. And then I don't know exactly how uh, that bill was written and then they came up to that decision or the reasoning behind it. Me, I would like to find out the reasoning behind it. Why was that presented in that manner?
But yeah, that one is a very tough call.
Mm,
I also have serious problems with that.
mm,
Um, I would urge government not even to think about it. I think the messaging has been very loud and clear from the citizens that ichi chintu ichi chirekeni fye.
mm,
There's nothing that is broken that we are trying to fix. When you say, oh, it was fraudulently given, by who? Because you are the same ones who are giving the title. So Gamwaranda Mwevere, oh, if I find that you were fraudulently given a title, how did it pass you? Because then you are also a fraud to have signed that title. And you see the problem here, because government is a going concern. Yakwabati Commission of Lands in Gasa in 1990. Hello, Commission of Lands Walelo is not going to be part of it. When they sue, they will sue you as a commissioner. So you are going to defend that commission of 1990.
mm.
So this kind of around the things, Chanda, it is a wrong move. And I think it is more, I only see politics around it rather than genuinely going to resolve anything. Now, For me, if it's politics, if it is, but and I'm not saying it is politics, but I'm just going to caution.
Mm.
If politics are used, for instance, if the registrar is given powers to cancel the titles, yes, he may cancel some titles. But what if it is goes to cancel a title of a politician who has paid and has worked on this land, and this land is worth maybe $2 million or $2 billion, and then
Mm.
you go and cancel and re-enter and do everything else? Yes, that person will suffer now. But one of the things from what I have seen, having worked in all the governments, that when the law is targeting one politician or two politicians or a group of politicians, nga bafumapo abapangire law, it follows them. Imagine, Vachanda,
Mm.
that they go ahead. Let me give an example of them. They cancel maybe my title, which I have. They cancel it. They say, okay, this 100 hectares that you have in title was fraudulently given. Okay, baff me up. And the one limbi na lidipire na rangisha, maybe I couldn't prove one receipt which I paid for a survey or whatever is lost. Therefore, they say, oh, since you can't prove with this survey, we are cancelling it out.
Mm.
And wow, grab Milo, the president who has a lot of land, our president, our current president, has a lot of land and he is not shy about it. He said it. To us, let any receipt here council levy here 1980 when you got the first land, which is 1,000 hectares. And this is a land where he has kept his animals and the to us are grab. Council re-enter. Because now we start to use it as a tool for political expedience.
Mm. Mm.
Please, in never chanda what I'm aging, let this thing be. There's nothing that is broken that we're going to fix using this law. If we want to amend and change it, let's go back to our drawing board. Let's have a very clear consultative process, maybe 2-3 years of consultation just on how we're going to deal with land and the nitty-gritties of land. To come and rush a bill in parliament through the back door to consultations about land reform law is very, very, very dangerous. Let's not do it in a hurry, because almost I've not heard citizens that are supporting it. And government is right to withdraw it. Government is right to have
Mm.
withdrawn that land bill. And I would commend the Honorable Matove to swallow that pride and say, we are not proceeding with this. The president wants it, but the president needs to be also told. Vakateka twamumfe murefu aya, but at this point in time, this is not the best thing that to do.
No, I don't think Bakazia ni Vakateka at this point.
And
You
they
know,
vakateka, because you
he
see
doesn't want
any
it. It's
law.
not up to him.
No, it's up to him, because the one who signs it
Yeah, he's the
into
one who
law.
signs it. Yeah,
Yeah, so you
and
can't say it's not up
Rakazia,
to him.
yeah, Rakazia, yeah. On that front, I think I wanted to ask you, like, why, like, we have to be very categorical here. Like,
Mhm.
the president has a rubber stamp on these bills that have
Yes,
been rejected. That's very well known. Okay,
yes,
let's get that out of the way. So
yes.
I think for me, my biggest concern, Rakazia, before you joined, I was telling
Okay.
Vachanda to say that for me, it's a very, very big concern that all these bills that they are pushing are being scrutinized, right? And all these bills have no wide consultation,
Yeah,
So if somebody says that there's something fishy they're trying to do behind the scenes, they want to enrich themselves or they want to stay in power for long, you can't argue against that.
I agree
You
with
cannot.
completely.
You cannot. And I'm a huge diehard UPND supporter. You can't dispute that because especially when it comes to land reforms, right? You need legal experts. You
Yeah,
need the all those landowners, right? They have the experience, right? They own
yeah,
land. You also need traditional leaders because
yeah,
those traditional leaders are also selling land. You need
yeah.
all those stakeholders. It cannot just be like, hey, let's loosen up the administration. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. It does not. These are like things that go back in memory, like their rights in Zambia, land rights. Like a chief has a right to have a certain land,
Mhm.
right? So you cannot just have one person in the office, like the chief registrar, just taking
Hey.
away his land, canceling it. It cannot happen. It
Yeah,
cannot.
Yeah.
Something is fishy. Something is
yeah,
fishy. And when the president makes remarks about like a mayor not having a tenure of office, it raises concerns, right? Because why are you casually throwing words like that? You yourself know that you cannot just say something like that. Say, hey, imagine Taula Pusho Kubomba. That's the reason why there's term of offices. So people come in, bring different ideas. So, like for me, these guys need to stop this. Go back to drawing board. They need to stop pushing this agenda of these not well thought bills just for whatever reason. I don't know what they're trying to achieve, but they have to stop because this is gonna come back because they're not doing anything different from what we saw under PF when they had all those bills that people were not in line with. So
yeah. Let,
I
let
think
me just,
I think there's something not right here.
yeah.
There's
And
definitely
not a,
something not right.
sorry, yeah. And just to give you an example, let me give an example of one thing, Vatan. When we started the labor law reform, it took us 8 years to change the Employment Code Act into that codified act that you see. 8 years, 8 solid years, because the consultative process is not easy. Because they don't allow for an abantu they go and look at it, they find that no, wait a minute. That there is something that needs to be ironed out here. What are you trying to cure? Oh no, we are trying to cure this. How are you doing? But why do you want to cure it in this manner rather than this manner? So this process, to agree with you, is that it cannot be rushed. There's
No,
so much at stake that rushing it will actually destroy a lot of things. So we cannot
Mm.
not rush it. And I
Okay.
think, like my colleague has said, what is it that we are still rushing for?
yeah,
Mm.
there's
When
no
we
right.
that consultation, when
Mm.
you hear that word, their consultation, yeah, just imagine how many chiefs do we have, how
Yeah.
many lawyers do we have, how many organizations are stakeholders, how many people own these huge tracts of land that are going to be
Yeah.
affected, what kind of tenure are we talking about? What about it is so much? What about even the president himself, the
Mm.
executive powers? So the consultative process cannot just happen much. Say draft. Ero mwana
Much
kwa
that. Yeah.
consultation. Ah, we iye neyi. I think
Yeah.
baine kwa
Even I tell what about
consultation.
that say like
Yes.
Nishimu government and we PN that talk what time lawyers,
Hey,
to
aba
to
kutuletea.
scan through. How could just scan through before you even before you table the bill. Sit down, is this something progressive? Is this something urgent? You
Mm.
know, because those are not the biggest flaws, right? That we have in the land process. What can we tight at the Ministry of Lands, right? That
That,
can avoid some of these
that's a
situations,
million
right?
dollar question, Masakala. That's $1 million question. Don't we have
That's why you
lawyers?
need to consult. That's why
Okay.
it's a million.
Yeah.
The reason why it's $1 million question is it more reason to consult.
Okay. So let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Um, Zambia has requested a 12-month grace period when it comes to the IMF. Uh, the credit facility, they want to be extended for another 1 year. In order for us to have a little bit of more breathing space so that we'll be able to repay it nicely. Now, is it a good move for us to be given a grace period? What's the implication? What's going to happen? What are the effects on the economy of Zambia? Wakazia, did you are you up
Yeah,
on
I
on
think
that one?
I think there are certain fundamentals that I think the government needs to look at. Namwichi baba tanda inkongole tashawama.
Mm,
No matter what we see tashawama. Ukona
mhm,
because aba nensu bale kongola, na put fili to kongola. I don't think that is the right way.
mm,
We cannot be giving away our tax incentives to the people, our biggest earner. Twapela ama tax incentives. Vasenda
mm,
abantu vyafine kopa concentrate wafumia po tax.
mm,
Twapela ama waivers kula ama tax nani holidays ama deductibles. All of which they are very happy when we come and say, oh, we're going to have 2 billion investment. Yes, but when you look at the 2 billion, it's in the capital. My capital projects I am and where machine you greeting you greet here $1.5 million. It is going to say an investment in Samsung. When they go and buy these things, high technology in terms of mining, safe mining, it is all there. But in the Lama fish, it becomes very Palmer mines. I did a lot of work in there. A lot. I inspected you some mines. I managed to go underground. I managed to see. Let's go back to this resource. Tulekeba IMF. But IMF, teba chisuma. But IMF, remember what they did to the current president. Me, I told you guys on this forum. First of all, they gave him a very good talk. Chitefu from subsidy, do ABCD. He did everything. What did they do for us? $180 million. No, we will help you restructure debt with externals. Is that not what they were saying? We were going to Gamba. What did they do? Did they help him? They did not. And you see, these are some of the things we must be able to tell the current president. That it's not that we don't like what you're doing. We may like what you're doing, but let's go back inward. Let's look at our resource. But IMF, they are happy to do that. They would give us that extension. And you see, at the end of the year, 1 year, they will come back to give us more in Congole. They're not going to say, yes. Then as long as we're getting the debt burden being placed on our heads, they are okay with that. Because that is what makes them control us. In Congole,
tukalipira na imwe tukalipira
nshilekana tatuwakalipile butakwaba umuntu nangu ubuteko ubukalanda chetu balipile nkongole iyo bachanda inkongole tukalipila but bushe tukatwalilila pa nkongole fifine
awe echo nomba nafenda ama policies yalechinja
moneni bachanda ama policies yalechinja iyo because muri 3 years natupoka ka $5 billion over $5 billion inkongole pachira twasangile mamona shira mwasangile nkongole na mwisabika poka $5 billion and ka $5 billion mubikile ma productive sectors nshikengilemo akakuba tuana toke 2 billion twasida twayabika panga twachita produce, we will sell and then we will be able to pay back. You see, takwaba productive capacity yaba mu civil service takwaba. We are a consumptive system. If we was civil service ni consumption bachanda munga mwanji pusha ini nali permanent secretary nabomba, in fact na civil servant for 28 years. Tell me how much revenue I generated to go into the treasury. I was not. If anything, I was getting treasury from the treasury through my salaries, isn't it? Ama salary mulempela, na pension mwampela, na shani mwampela. So you find that the tax, how much tax was I paying? 25%. Kuti mwakula muti mwashita mapana doyanga. So you see the public sector is consumptive. Ngatwaingisha ba teacher, mwishi bati tulefu mindela mubuteko. Ngatwaingisha ba nurse tulefu mindela mubuteko. Because if we are consumptive, but ngatwaisa ingisha agricultural extension officers, twatwala indela mines, then we start to be shareholders in them. Ama dividends ya lewela. Mumonenga chakawati, there was an analysis that if we got $3.5 billion in returns, so nangutule ingisha abantu, nangutule lipila free education, nangutule chitefu, it makes sense because now na tukwata reserve omo tulefu mya ishi yesu fwewene no tukulashita lilai pankongole iba ya nefu bachanda they nothing tule kongola, they are okay, they are very okay. Ngatwayana mailo they will even extend even next year bakaisa na batupela moratorium nanda moratorium to pay. But mrefu anashinga, mrefu ana 500 billion to hold your elections, na 500 billion woolen. But we are getting ourselves choked. Mind you guys as UPND, efo mwakene, mwatile, this debt burden, let's squeeze this debt burden and then stop it. So to a papa, the Kenny by IMF, when initially bafire na pasore.
What if you want from our pata? Anyway, so Wasim Konda, what you do? Oh, it's falling out again. Brian, You want to contribute on this one, Brian? Hello, are you there, Brian?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where like um, it could be a benefit and won't be a benefit. I think like Kazia made a good point. I think we ought to be getting more from the copper. But I think you have to look at what's been happening before you look at like why Zambia, first of all, why Zambia gave a tax break to the investors, number one, right? And two, why we ran to the IMF, right? So I think those are the bigger things, right? I think if you look at the debt levels that we accumulated, in the last decade, they were just unsustainable, right? And if
Mhm,
you look at our if you want to look at it from like the international community, we defaulted on loans. Like every country needs to borrow money somehow, right? So we needed to steady the ship, right? We needed to create like a goodwill, with the international community. We needed to have
mhm,
confidence, and so that was the purpose of the IMF. Whether we should continue or not, it depends on where we are. Like, have we recovered in terms of like, have we improved our credit rating, um, and the like. And then when it comes to mines, if you look at the mining situation again, it wasn't in a good state, right? Nobody, could really invest in the mines that were making losses at the time. You look at KCM was in shambles, right? You didn't have anywhere to raise capital, uh, those Canadians also were about to leave the other mine as well. So I think for me, a short term, right? If you want to get people on board to invest into the mines, you obviously give them a tax break, right? They raise a certain level of copper production, and then you go back to the windfall tax, right? Same thing with the IMF. It gets you to a certain point where you bring investor confidence. You're trusted, obviously, by the IMF because the IMF is also supporting you with how you do your finances, and then you move on from there. So both could be true, right? So that's how I look at it. It could be
yeah,
good or bad, right? Depending on
yeah.
how you go about it, right? Because the thing is, like, our currency was also not performing well, right? So the question is that how are you gonna make the kwacha non-volatile, right? So you needed to do something in the short term, and for me, both of those things were helpful in the short interim. And
Mhm,
now the question is like, is it worth continuing? Why should we still persist with the IMF, right? That's
mhm,
more the bigger question for me. And then two, why don't we bring in the windfall tax, for example, right? Because now you could see, copper production is going to that level that we all wanted it to be. So why don't we now introduce different policies? So I think for me that's what the bigger question is. But I do think like we needed that to begin with, like both ways.
So, well said. But with me, the way I look at it overall, one, Zambia, when the UPND government, actually, we need to go back a little bit. When the UPND government came into power, they found a very disturbed and broken economy with a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And now, here's the thing: there wasn't any proper mining policy in place. Everything that was done was experimental, and it failed a mining a country that depends on mining for a long time. And investors were running away. They were closing. Everybody was closing shop. By the time the current government was moving into power, so we needed to make a quick decision, a decisive decision, so that we are able to maintain those conglomerates and those companies to remain in Zambia. But it couldn't have been done without the help of IMF. Okay, because yes, we want to be self-independent and be self-resilient, but We were at that point, we were stuck between, you know, you know, we're stuck between in debt. We're in debt. It was an indebted country that was actually well known in the in the banking system, banking world. That look, Zambia now is what they one of those countries that you cannot go and invest, or you shouldn't be allowed. It's more like a credit card. So most people, you get a credit card to build your credit. So that's what this government did. They went to the IMF to say, fine, give us this, and we're going to prove on how and the steps we're going to do to make sure that we maintain a good credit score. When that was done, now where we are now, Zambia is looked upon as one of the safest places to come and invest in, one of the best investment destinations, and one of the most safest tourism places to go to, because they did that homework. So it's not just a matter of borrowing, but it's also a matter of continuing that relationship with the IMF to build a good rapport. Okay, not being classified as a junkie state. Okay, because now it's more like I was saying, giving a simple example of a credit card. If everybody blackmails you and say, "Oh, this guy is bad debt," you're not going, but your credit score goes down. You're not going to go and get any credit card anywhere else. But if your credit, ask here, you know how it is. Because here, but Brian, we work on credit scores. The higher your credit score is, the better you'll be able to do anything, anything you want to do. But if your credit score is very low, you're limited on what you can do. Same thing with the current government. It's like sort of building that. So we've now been building it. And the IMF has confidence in the country and confidence in the current regime. Now they're saying, okay, fine, we can extend it and then we can even give you more. But we're saying, while we're doing this, that money we're putting it in certain investment sectors, so that by next year, we'll be able to start repaying those things. We're repaying because we have a certain level of investments dotted around, as opposed to the previous PF government that all they did was consume, 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 consume. There's no investment. So if they ask them at all, iliyo mwasa endere ndarama ya tazara ili shaya kuisaba ne ado katwisha twishi, nobody knows. Yeshi ndarama sho mwasa endere sho mwachite ama yoro bondia shaya kuisa o twari kude misemo. At one point people were asking questions that wala die misemo. That wala die misemo. Imisemo sho bare kula straight to pa doorstep ya ma ministers. Vape we. Na manene kila vabik.
I
So
think I have a comment there.
what is
Yeah,
it?
I also have a comment, by the way. I think one of the things because you touched on, like for me, I'm more looking at it like it's a more open-minded. Like, what are the other realm of possibilities that we
Maybe
could have done, right?
you before Tamula, let me just maybe put a few things in clear terms here.
Mhm.
You, it really actually what we found the things that were totally in a mess.
No, but that's a fact.
That doesn't hold. And I'm telling you for a fact, Vachanda.
Mm.
You can't come and increase the cost of living and then you say things were in a mess. That's why the cost of living has gone up. You can't use that kind of narrative. Are you making us look stupid?
No,
Because
who's increasing it? It's the economic factors. Nobody's
you
just
cannot
increasing.
find you can't come in an economy mwasanga abantu abika reserve mwasenda amateba mwayashitisha
Sorry, Mark,
Mwashitisha.
what
No, I'm giving examples of that. That's why I don't want to start having political kind of arrangements to conversate. I think it's better we just conversate normally. Because ngatwayamba okuyoko ukulanda cho twasangire bintu fitness. Have you fixed the things that are very fundamental to the cost of living for the people? Bushe ama effects you're fixing. Have they improved the lives of people? If the answer is yes, we have improved the lives of people, then you can gladly stand up on the anti and say to Asangere to. But the decisions that you guys made were very bad. And I can tell you and give examples of those bad decisions that are affecting us now. One, Amatava, on electricity. You signed up new agreements and started exporting power. And you killed the small scale person there who can't work. Because you did not know some of the things, you are coming to learn about them and the effect of those decisions that you made. Abantu bali subsidized. By IMF, what have you? Misery. People have lost. Look at how the cost of living has hit. In the Alama abantu bafola. It is now at $50. Now if I appreciate, you have $70 a month. That is the salary of a person. So we cannot move, and this has moved from $110 to down there. So to feel it, why some of the things, some of the decisions, it's not about having found things that were broken. Things were not broken, and that kind of narrative, pulling in one direction. The government, I said, we did part of it. One of it was the mine of Mopani. Mopani was 90% owned. What did you do? You are a company in 2021. Mwakapela 51% majority shareholding in Mopani. Ama mines, the what mine I said, mine I said if any KCM chapwa. It is a time that it is the only mine which was closed. All the other mines, Kanungalia is 50s, 20, 25 years ago. That is the only mine. Now, if in a narrative, it was Angira mine. Now, yes, I can number to Isula. I was there. I inspected the mines. And precisely to see how the viabilities of mines. Some mines wanted to lay off people on the pretext that they were not productive. Ngatwaku inspection, ugwasanga bale bepo obufu. Ngamwekata general manager, the next minute, bacha suspend all the retrenchments. Bale mbakalata tualeka, and they don't touch the Zambian people. So imagining a chakatibali kwete real challenge, what they would have done. Some of these mines that you are even quoting now, you will see. Basakala, abantu balachinja, abama miners balachinja, depending on the government. You will see the moment the current government is going to start talking about getting more from them, so they pay the fair share of taxes, they'll come up with something. And you remember what I'm talking about today. So that's
interesting, yeah.
We see what is
something.
Now about Okula Banomba.
Mama Sakala,
yeah, no. I think but I think but I think one thing we have to also notice is like depends on KCM, like how big of a mine KCM is and how much metric tons of copper was it contributing, right? I think there were losses there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then two, when you read the financial statements with our holding company, like you see a lot of losses across all the mines. I don't know why, but if you look at the financial statements, you will see that things were on a decline. So I'm not pointing fingers, but I would say one of the big mines were not producing copper because we all know it was under like caretaker management. I don't know what they were trying to do there. And then if you look at Glencore, there was a point where they also wanted to pull out, right? But one thing I would say though is that I think with the mining situation, I think we ought to have done a better job. I think if we were remedying, if these mines were remedying their forex into Zambian banks, right? I think our currency would be stable, right? So that's something I think we could have done as well. Like whereas like now they even if they bring in like as they were saying, even if they bring in that investment, right? If most whatever money they make is leaving the country, then it's not a win for us, right? So there's lots of things I think we could do, and that's why I say like maybe in the short term those steps we made were okay, right? But I think comes a point where like we ought to have maybe done away with that, right? But I also understand like us um, getting some money for IMF. If you remember, that drought also hit us hard, right? We probably had nowhere to go. And I think we're just not good at raising foreign debt as well, right? We don't always have to raise foreign debt. Like I think we can also improve in how we issue our local government bonds as well, because I think there's a big opportunity there the way we can raise money. We shouldn't just always just run to for foreign debt, right? Like if you issue local bonds, I know they've made some changes, but if you make it more premium bonds, I think maybe you raise more revenue that side as well. But this is a very touchy topic. So I think we both have some good points. That's where I
And
stand. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of in the
and and,
middle.
and
Well,
Basagara,
but you see,
Basanda, just one more submission, but so that Basagara, and one of the things in Adlandilepa forum, when we started just the forum and discussing, I said, "Va KCM management bavandata niva kelenka." The $2
Mhm.
billion that they always promise, it has never been delivered from the MMD era. But ila lionse, ngamwa kwaisa new government, they come with a 2 billion thing. One day I was in a meeting and CEO wa KCM was there. My minister, Jason on the Simukoko MP at the time, she just told them in their face that you are crooks. Nani na ikarana CEO wabo. Itu billion mulanda kulionse. And you change management. Every time ungakwala banomba palati when the 2 billion is supposed to come, they change management. They come with a new management system. Did you see what they did? They also promised the $2 billion to this current government. Has it been given? What did they do? They went and changed management. And I told the Ava, they don't mean any intention in good faith for Zambia. Look at their balance sheet. Bloomberg was there. In a post in the morning. These guys, Badi Munkongole, they are in deep trouble. Where are they going to get the 2 billion from? Meanwhile, they will be paying. Yeah, and these statements are online. If you go to Bloomberg, you find them. Financial statements on what KCM and where they borrowed the money. Loko bale Congo lenda lama, where they were, bale vika mine yesu mulikalo. Babe ni mama. Na lelo 2 billion tabale. Mwala mona what they will do come 2026, they will change management. Na umbiala isaparia with a promise of another $2 billion. They are very crooked. They started ripping off. Nkatwishiba if you know Nkana Smeot.
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
Nkana
Magazine,
Smeot.
yeah, moneni oko mwana
Bali ikwe employer Nseba Sakara Nkana
let,
Smeot.
let,
Yeah, tell
okay,
ground.
okay,
Kushita
okay.
scrap metal. Ah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think.
let's end it. Ya kumaini. Let's end it here because the mine is so big, so vast. We need one day we need to invite one of the key people so that we can say to explain all these things. But in any case, Zambia was stuck between a hard rock. They were stuck. As much as we have resources, it wouldn't have happened. So, but let's move forward. Our last topic, because ndingire na yani ndino mwana, we need to go somewhere. So, kuna konde kuli abalepanga nani kane border. I was very impressed when I looked at the way, and for some years I was thinking to myself, nishi kuna konde takwa abera fe border ya amano. Border, a proper border system. Being one of the largest, earning of ZRA and the government. Suddenly, current government is building actually a proper, ultra modern border. I don't know, you're up to speed on that one, Wagazia.
I lived I lived in Nakonde. My father
Serious?
was master Nakonde basic. We lived there for 11 years.
Serious?
I know that place inside out. Angandera China Mwanga hapa nobody
Hey,
vano no sabina Mwanga benganchila. We lived in that area
how
for
many years
many years.
ago? How many years ago? I know, do not want to.
And then in 2020, before I came here, actually, I was in Nakonde. That's why my village is is about 100 kilometers from Nakonde on Imbala Road. So it's my area. But that was, I don't know where they are building that from. If you say they are building, because there is already one which is right at the border there. I don't see a lot of space unless maybe I don't know. But there's already which was done. I think just said in MMD PF completed it and they operationalized it on the Nakonde. I don't know where they are building it because
No, I'll send you the videos and all that. It's huge.
Yes, that would be great because I would love to know because
it is
the way our border between Zambia and Tanzania yava, that is a very funny situation. Part of Zambia railways, Tazara, and then between there, a very small space. Unless maybe they are up, I don't know where they're doing it. Please send me some videos, and I think that would be great because one in the volume of trade between that country and the Nakonde as a border post to a black market in those years. Akwete ka barrier palife barrier imoso so nga wafuma ku Zambia na pajinga
kwali mpanga tefe kwali mpanga
takwali mpanga fe yalife bwino abantu they own the property and Nakonde has always been a very entrepreneurial place. Even abantu they are really entrepreneurs there. And you see njinga wayapita ku border washana abana ngabatekapo obwali ku Zambia wamukushitomu ku Tanzania wayashitomu ku Tanzania waisasarula kapenta mwali obwali
wasanga obwali na bupya
wasanga obwali na bupya washitomu ku Tanzania. That is how easy it was there, and also even now it has been a little bit easy. It's a very complicated border, but it would be a good idea if they can expand so that the revenue mechanism is enhanced, and also try to just control. In fact, also the influx of people is very difficult to control that, and I hope that that border one-stop border post, we should have stake in it. Please, let's not give all these aspects to foreigners. It's a good thing to have. It will generate tons and tons of money. I'm very sure about that. And it's a good move if government is actually planning to do that. Any expansion in infrastructure, any expansion that is helping us improve service delivery, anything that is making our operations better for ourselves as Zambians, I think it's a good welcome move. We shouldn't rush to condemn things that are right. No, I don't think that would be fair.
Brian Sakala. Brian imwe Matara.
So I have to jump. I'm sorry.
No problem. We're about to close. Actually, this is our last topic. We're closing now.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'll join next week. I have to run.
No problem. Okay, have a good weekend, eh?
You too.
Because it's a
you.
long weekend. So even me from here,
Yeah,
I'm
true,
going on a long weekend.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
Okay,
man.
bye.
Thank you. All right. So, Wakazia with me. I'll send you the videos. It's an ultra modern, state of the art, border post, and this is one of the border posts that actually is modernized. It will be using AI in terms of some trucks coming in and out, bakala scanning it, and they would not finish if using the AI technology. So a lot of investment has gone into there, and it's going to be completed soon. I'm surprised. It's there. The whole documentary is there. The whole documentary is there. You can go and watch it if you want per page. So it's something positive, something good, and I think it's something that we need to put a thumbs up and say at least we're able to produce and do something great, in this day and modern age. For as long as you've lived there, like formula stuff explain. I can just tell that it was just Yarama situations whereby watoroka from Sevonishi Tanzania. So there wasn't any proper immigration system or immigration there. Watoroka from Tanzania, watoroka from Zambia. Isn't that the fact, Bakazia?
In fact, nobody in FA we say Tanzania. There
Uh,
is a part of Zambia which is on the just powerful Musebo Pakati.
uh,
But you really have to get there to appreciate the volume of what is done there.
mm,
So
yeah.
I hope that we kind of work around that and ensure that that is done. That's why I'm excited about Azara. If it is going to be capitalized, but I don't know what the minister was talking about. If he's going to retrench people, that is one thing I need to find out.
Oh, that way. I don't know even me on that angle what he was trying to say. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to say because looking at Tazara the way it is, it's a very old organization that still has people on payroll that retired 100 years ago. So there's some
Are
people
you
that.
sure?
Sorry.
Are you sure, Batanda?
No, I'm just giving you. I'm just exaggerating, but I know some people that they retired because of lack of funds. They can't pay them their pensions, but they kept them on the payroll. Because
You didn't pay them.
yeah.
Your government didn't pay them.
Which government?
Your government.
No, wasn't government here so. It's the government of Zambia. Tazara needed Sabapanga Tazara. When was Tazara built? Okay. So if you look at how many people have retired in Tazara, how many people have taken their full benefits and pensions? Some have been paid, some haven't been paid, some, and the way the system is, if they haven't paid you, you'll be on a payroll. Until they tell they pay you all your money, then you're off that payroll. So Tazara, looking at Tazara the way it is, Tazara hasn't been making money for the last decade, 20 decades actually. It hasn't making any money. It's been a lost profit organization. So the only way is just to modernize it and so that people can start using it, And I actually saw Banan Mayor of Livingstone. She was posting they have built them a ultra modern state of the art intercity, and it's quiet. There's nobody there. There's no buses going there or anything going there. No activities. And she's saying, "Can we start? Can we start? Booking artists to come and perform here?" I'm like, look, why? First of all, why is the place? Why is there no activities? Why are there no?
Batanda, because do you know that was commissioned? I was there. That state of the art intercity bus terminus was commissioned by her honor the vice president Inonge Wina, and I was there.
Oh,
yes. And the problem is that at times politics get in the way of good things, and we start to politicize things. What your government should have done is to jump on that and make sure that now the council moves in to start managing that property on behalf of NAPSA. That was what it was. It was a private PPA, private partnership. Now, a lot of money was spent there. If it's not being used, it is squarely on government. It is not on anyone else. Because in fact alikuwa ati ama bus terminals yaba ya pa Toronto na Pashani, whereby you can buy online, you can check online, you have nama luggage yonse, you can weigh the luggage, check it in, nga wafika kulia na basi nshita ile imane nshita ile kwatu ni mundeke kwatu definitely it was operating on the basis of definitely ina ni bomba.
Nobody survive official.
My politics, Kai.
Ah, I don't think my politics.
Kai, you take to Musumi from them, but it's okay. Nga PF bakulire so tetiba UPND babonfi
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't
bwapya
think.
kwenu ngono kutiko
I
so
don't think
ntuwombere
so.
pamofi. Let's make sure that things are there are a lot
Okay.
of things, there are a lot of good things.
Last words. Okay, last words. Last words. Three great wire
my,
but last words.
my last words Bachanda is that I hope that government continues engaging citizens properly, and also that naimwebo mwema advisors mweba mu UPND, you must be able to move beyond the political lines and advise at times when the president makes mistakes to tell him, no, Bakateka, this you can't do. So basically, let's work, let's see how you guys work, and see how we are going to handle most of the national issues. But as things stand, there is quite a big challenge that you must be able to pull up. The cost of living is biting really bad.
Yeah. Well, my last words. Of course, cost of living is been biting for people for since 1964. And it's nothing new. So we cannot lump anything on one individual, one government. But
You can't do anything about it.
the most important thing that us as Zambians is to understand that the current government is actually working towards that, and we're putting certain mechanism in place so that we have a better Zambia. Free education, we got all these nurses, teachers, recruitment systems where people have been employed at a record high that has never, ever, 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 ever been done in the history of Zambia. So the more income that we put in our people's pockets, that's how you develop an economy. And that's a start. Industrialization. We're building many hubs across the country, which are yet to be seen. But soon, when all this is done, we'll be like, okay, why are all these things happening? Why is it? It's a process. It's not an event. Building an economy is a process and not an event. And the current government is actually putting all its muscle and all its ideas in lucrative ideas and business ventures, especially if we today you can see the president from Botswana, who's been in the country for at least 2-3 days now, coming to see what we can do and how we can work and how we can exchange ideas and how they've structured the diamond mining mineral in Botswana, and how we can get some ideas from that, how we're going to structure our gold and copper from now going forward. Mwebantu Akwalesa, thank you very much for joining us. We'll convene next week. Thank you. God bless and have a lovely day.
All right. Thank you very much, Wachanda.